Dr. Ash, for your very insightful presentation, keynote speech. Our next speaker is Mr. Omid Sadeghi. He is the founder and director of the BlockchainHub, a global leader in blockchain education. The title of his talk is Blockchain Evangelist. Let's welcome Mr. Omid Sadeghi. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. Your version.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, then you're gonna need this.
Thank you so much. Yeah. No, the other one. Hi, everybody. Actually, my topic is not being a blockchain evangelist. It's a headline from my LinkedIn. But today, actually, going to talk about a little bit about blockchain and what we are doing, and a little bit specifically about talking about the education component of it. To start with, how many of you know about BlockchainHub? So that's great. So it's a good opportunity for me to talk a little bit about us. So I'm leading Lassonde Professional Development. It's one of the three educational centers at York University. Schulich Executive Education Center, Osgood Professional Development, and Lassonde PD, Lassonde Professional Development, is the third one, which is focusing on technology and innovation. BlockchainHub is an initiative of LPD, and so far we achieved a lot during the last year. Actually, so far we have around 3,000 members. We have we educated more than 350 during the last 9 months in different programs that we are offering blockchain. And also we are starting 2 new chapters, one in UAE and the other one in Jordan. So we're gonna offer our programs in those regions, I guess mid-August. Also, we are having a close partnership with University of Pekin. Schulich already has, so we are doing the same thing to offer our blockchain education. And University of California, Irvine. So in terms of education, we have a variety of options. And so as you see, we have different streams: blockchain business program, blockchain technical programs, and actually we launched a blockchain for kids. So if you're gonna send your kids getting certified in York University for blockchain, it's a good time to get enrolled in any of K1 or K2. So each of these programs between 24 or 30 hours, and they are, we have different arrangements. So 3-day program, a week program, but mostly, for example, this weekend we are running 2 programs, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and then in a week, basically students work together to accomplish the project. So after finishing each of these certifications, actually, you build something. So in the business case, you build your white paper. On the technical stream, you build your proof of concept. So it's very practical educational approach. So I want to a little bit talk about blockchain. I don't know how many of you know about it. So just quickly, who does know about blockchain? Okay, great. There's a lot of light here, so I can see some. So I want to make it simple for you. There are different generations of blockchain. Starting from blockchain 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So most of these terms, just a disclaimer, these are some sort of category. It's not official. So if you're using any of these and nobody knows about it, it's just a category for the purpose of today to just make it relevant to you as well. So a bigger picture about blockchain. Let's just start with this. How many of you know about Bitcoin? Amazing. So Bitcoin was the very first use case of blockchain. So how to transfer the fund from one person to other person on a digital setting and making sure wouldn't be any double expenditure problem. So basically, when you spend money, it's very important that one person own the money, and when you transfer the money, you want to make sure the other person doesn't have that money anymore. So the transfer is done, and basically the money transfer. So blockchain and Bitcoin specifically made that happen. So it's an open source platform. Lots of developers across the globe, they're contributing to that. And also, I usually put some maps here. So on the right, you can see, on the top, you can see who uses Bitcoin in the world. So there's a site, Coin Map, and you can see in Europe, North America, and Japan, South Korea, there are lots of users, around 11,000 users using Bitcoin as a mean of payment for their business. So Bitcoin was just the beginning. It started 2008, and we have two different streams in blockchain afterward. One is more focused on cryptocurrency, so building different solution to transfer value from one person to other person. And the second stream is how to innovate, how to build some solution on top of blockchain. So how to build some sort of decentralized computer network on top of blockchain. So these are, I categorize it on the right side, which is more about innovation, how to build the apps. They're not necessarily working on with the cryptocurrencies, but they might, this application, they might use cryptocurrency to run a certain application. So let's get to the definitions and just to give you a little bit of overview about different blockchain systems. So let's start with blockchain 1.0, which is Bitcoin, a decentralized ledger with memory. So I highlighted a couple of things here. What is decentralization and what is memory? I guess these two components of this ledger is very important, and it makes it very strong. The reason is three things. In why Bitcoin is strong, why Bitcoin network is strong, why all the blockchain networks that are coming after Bitcoin also following the same path, is three different things. First of all, the cryptography. So in the Bitcoin network, when you have certain transactional information, you encrypt those information. So you don't deal with those data anymore, but it's an encrypted version of the data on the network. So nobody can change the past. Also, it's a decentralized network. So yeah, so this is a decentralization aspect of Bitcoin. So a centralized network, you have one main component, and for example, a server. And when somebody hacked the server, the system goes down. On the other side, a decentralized network, there are several nodes with the same capacity. And if you take one node down, there are records in other nodes. And as you see, it's more resilient. So I don't know what happened to these slides, but the second part of the blockchain is why we call it blockchain. So, and the cryptography aspect of it. So I'm going to hear a little bit talk about cryptography. how it works, and how we secure the past. So when I transfer a value to Jack, uh, Jack has a new block. So imagine, I just want to make it simple for you. So the first block, imagine it's my money. I send my money to Jack, and the network recorded as a new block on top of my block and connected to the previous block. And as you can see, for making that transaction, I need to sign it off. So my digital signature that is basically owned by me, and I need to say, I want to send this money to Jack, and this is my digital signature. So once I did it, the new block gonna be created. So it's not exactly this, I'm just simplifying for you. The aspect of blockchain and basically the cryptography aspect of blockchain. So, and going forward, all of these transactions gonna be recorded like that. So me, Jack, Susan, and all of these people have the history on top of blockchain. So why is it important and why we do it? Because if somebody hack into the system, change the information on, for example, Susan blocks. Susan has $10, and by the sudden I change it to $20. If I'm gonna do it, I need to change the previous block and the next block. So two things. And every 10 minutes, all the blocks, you have a new block. So you need to figure out in 10 minutes, hack into the system. And since this chain is not one block, it's millions of blocks across the globe and have different value, and they are all chained together. So it is impossible to hack into the system. So that's why the cryptography is very important in the system. The last component of it is economic incentive. So gamification that today we talk about actually exists in Bitcoin network. If you verify the transaction, you get money for that verification, which is called mining. So it is very important, and I want to talk about a little bit more about it, why it's important. And so the goal of economic incentives is to reward participants who help the system and punish the participant who doesn't help the system. As an example, if you're gonna get involved in any sort of verification and mining, you need to spend money on your infrastructure. You need to buy computers and processors to accomplish that for you. So you already invested in it. If you don't verify transactions or you try to manipulate the system, basically you already spend that, you spend electricity, but you don't get paid. So for participants in the network, it always makes sense to verify in a right way and get rewarded. So this actually simple concept helps blockchain be relevant to certain communities and developers getting involved and updating the system once in a while and making sure going forward is a sustainable system. So what is blockchain 2.0 is the same concept as Bitcoin, but it is not a ledger anymore. It's a decentralized network of computers. So each of those nodes also do certain computational basically efforts. You might have heard of Ethereum. Ethereum is the very first example of decentralized network of computer, which brings the idea of a smart contract. A smart contract is basically some sort of like transactions that if you meet certain inputs, the output gonna be, for example, some sort of reward. It can be some sort of stocks. It can be different things. You might heard about ICO. Who heard about ICO? Nobody? Initial coin offering. So it is basically some sort of a crowdfunding on top of blockchain. So if you contribute to this blockchain project, like if you contribute $10, you get 10 token of the platform. So it can be a security token or it can be utility token. I don't go to those details. I'm sure you're already confused. So what decentralized network of computer actually enable is, such as a smartphone, you can build millions of applications on top of it, and basically it's like a Swiss knife, you can use it in different ways. And so the next generation of blockchain is blockchain 3.0. It is the point I'm gonna emphasize on that, and I'm gonna basically talk about our effort at York University to revolutionize education by using blockchain. So how we are doing that, it's a couple of different steps, but what we did at BlockchainHub, we created this value nodes. So we created education that is relevant to our audience, and basically we are creating a value for our audience. We have research in blockchain space, helping startups and enterprises to achieve their technology goals in blockchain space. And we have an incubation program, C-Lab, which is helping entrepreneurs and also building use cases for enterprises. Also, we have these members. So the idea here is how to connect these members and how to reward these people, and using some sort of blockchain in enabling solutions. So what we did at York University, we created a community reward system. So the way it works is you do certain things for our community. You contribute, you are a speaker, you are an instructor, you are helping a startup, mentoring them, and you get some reward tokens. And then you can redeem those tokens, or you can send those tokens to some other people. So basically, it's going to be some sort of like, as you can see, let's say we are building an ecosystem, has some value creation component on this, and also there is a mean for transferring the value, which is the token. So it's a very exciting project. We got a lot of researchers from York University, from Lassonde, the computer science, and Osgood and Schulich, because it has security component to it. Security regulation might be applicable to that. And also we have business cases here. So it's very important to do it in the right way. So at the end of the day, it's an experiment for us. But also, our next step for this system is, once we incentivize the students to collaborate, once we incentivize our community member, okay, if you do this, you get, although it's a voluntary thing, but you get rewarded, and you can basically have a free education at LPD. Also, the next step is our new initiative, Artificial Intelligence Hive, which is basically building some sort of intellect on top of the intelligence, on top of the current transaction in blockchain space. So my final point about this is blockchain obviously disrupt many sectors, and it's just the beginning. It's very important to understand, so as any other technology evolve, blockchain also evolve. And some people will say, like, there's a scalability issue, there is some challenges with, for example, hacking, or there are like, about regulation, the governments, they're not basically up to date yet. But I guess from a disruption perspective, I'm going to leave you with this article from Forbes 10 years ago on the page of Forbes. They were talking about Nokia. So who can basically afford this? Can anyone catch the cell phone king? And now after 10 years, it doesn't exist. So it's very important to educate yourself, to be up to date, and to see the different solution that new technology can enable, and blockchain AI is also part of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Omid. Thank you for your presentation on blockchain. So